We are live.
Still 1901. We'll wait a couple more seconds and then we will start the stream. Hello everybody on YouTube. Hope all is well.
Right, it's 7:02.
7:02 now. Let's just give a couple seconds and then we will say hello to everybody. So bear with us.
And as AB would say, yo! Hi everybody.
Yeah, good evening everybody. It's RJ and Sam live across the UK. Special show this evening. It's our 15-year anniversary. Sam's here.
Yeah, and this is part 1, because next year we might be interviewing a special voice talent, mightn't we, RJ?
Yes, special show between now and 8 o'clock. We've got an unboxing to do.
Yes.
After the unboxing, we've got some news for you this evening. So do stick around. It's very weird because normally you'd find me on the little show, but we're coming together tonight for a special event. Who sent that back in September?
Harry!
So get in touch. It's the usual contact details. The best way this evening though is in the YouTube chat. So if you're on your radio, go to YouTube and contact us on the chat. Okay.
So today we're going to be unboxing a special electronic game, aren't we, RJ?
Yeah, shall we unbox the cake?
Yeah, well, to call it its name, because we're live on the show, it's called a brain shift. We're going to call it brain shift for a little bit.
Okay.
So, my good American friend CGR found a listing for a cheaper, brand new brain shift. A lot of them go for like over $100 new, but I managed to get this one for $50. So, yeah, it's a lot cheaper than all the other new ones. We're going to test it and make sure the stick stays in the middle, because you get a lot of ones where it misses the metal thing that makes the stick stay in place, don't they, RJ?
And we're known for struggling with unboxings, hence why we're doing this first before we dig the number.
Yeah, but thankfully the brain shift is a very simple one to get out. You just got to cut around the squared packaging, and it should come out quickly. So let's. I don't want to speed run it. I just want to do it as gently as I can, don't we?
So this is brand new, is it?
Yeah.
How many cakes do you have?
Quite a lot. They were built in Chicago back in 1998. Hence, the original voice actor in this game is a Chicago man.
We should invite him on the show.
Who?
Mark. We should invite Mark.
Yeah, well, he's a private person. He doesn't want to, like Buddy. Buddy got involved in public events in the end, didn't he? With Dan.
How about we get Kimberly or somebody?
Well, we might get one of the train voices on next year, Denise. She has a very good voice for a train announcer, doesn't she?
We'll be joined by a special guest.
Yeah!
We've got a special guest coming on.
And you found her, didn't you?
Well, it was through our little competition that we ran way back when. Remember when we would find like our fictional characters and find our new like voices? Yeah, I did technically found her back in April, May, around that time.
Well, I just had to cut the right plastic here because I couldn't get to it. Here is the stick shift. Game 1. Yeah, that's what the first game mode is called. They call it stick shift, don't they? Okay. And there we go. We got the brain shift out now. Okay.
Okay, and then we're gonna play the cake. Brain shift.
Yeah. We gotta hope for the best that the stick stays in the middle. Do you think it's gonna be a good shift or a bad shift, RJ?
I think it will. Well, let it be a good one. It's a big show tonight.
Yeah, we don't want a whammy. We don't want to have to play a whammy noise. Are you ready, RJ?
Okay, let's put it in the middle.
Well, you heard the click. That's a good sign. Yes.
Now you need to put batteries in it.
Yeah. Now, this time...
How long does it take to play the game? Instead of whammies?
Well, it goes up to 13 shifts. until it cheats me. So,
Yeah.
what pitch? Dakota thinks it's going to be a normal pitch one here. So, what do you think, RJ? Oh! It's got, for those you can see, it's got a rare Tiger Recommends Duracell. This is great. Look, look, look.
Yeah.
Tiger Recommends Duracell, everybody. And we got Duracells right here. You ready, RJ?
Yes, that's right.
We're now going to reveal its pitch to the world. You ready? So, let me explain.
Yeah.
So, electronic toys in the 90s, every single one of them had like a clock. And the clock is like the speed, and it affects how high or low pitched every unit. Every unit would have a different pitch, wouldn't it, RJ?
Yes, and New Jam has it, the Bobbit Blast has it, not the downloads.
Or the Tetris.
Oh yes, and the Beats.
No, the Beats has different pitches. So now we're gonna see what pitch this is. You ready, RJ? I've been waiting all this time for this. Now are you ready, RJ? 1, 2, 3. And you'll say hello, Strider.
Playing in gear and let's play Brain Shift. Now choose your game. Game 1, stick shift. 1, shifter. Okay.
It's a normal
You
pitch
shift
one,
what I
finally.
call. 1, shift. Red. Red. 1, shift. Blue. Red. Red. 1, shift. Blue. Red. Yellow. Orange.
Orange.
Orange. White. Yellow. Red. White. 1, shift. Green. Yellow. Blue. Red. Yellow. Blue. 1, shift. Green. White. White. Green. Blue.
Oh.
Blue. Green. 1,
Uh-oh.
shift. Yellow. Green. Red. Blue. Orange. White. Orange. White. 1, shift. Orange. Orange. Yellow. Red. Yellow. Green. Red. White. White. 1, shift. Orange. Green. White. Yellow. Red. Blue. Red. White. Green. White. 1, shift. Yellow. Green. Red. White. 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 Orange. Orange. Yellow. Blue. 1, shift. Orange. 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 White. Green. Red. White. Yellow. Blue. Green. Red. White. 1, shift. Yellow. Blue. Orange. White. Orange. Yellow. Blue. Orange. White. Orange. Orange. Green. Red. 1, shift. White. Yellow. Red. Blue. Blue. Green. Yellow. Blue. Red. White. Yellow. Green. Red. Blue.
Ah!
Sorry, player 1, you crashed. You have 13 shifts. This game is over.
So yeah, what do you make of this new brain shift, RJ?
Well, it's a normal pitch, I think.
Yeah, and I was surprised. I was on eBay a few months ago, and I managed to find one here. I can demonstrate it before your segment comes. And this one sounds like a chipmunk, so I got that one. And I got this one here. I can demonstrate the different pitch ones. Yeah, this one sounds like a chipmunk.
Okay. Listen up.
Are you
Get your brain
suggesting
in
we
gear
take
and let's
this one
play
too?
Brain Shift.
No, I'm just demonstrating the different pitches I have here.
Alright.
And then I have my favourite one I discovered 20 years since I had this original pitched one. This
Yeah.
one sounds like a grandpa. He's like, okay.
Okay.
All right. Get your brain in gear and let's play Brain Shift. Now choose your game.
But yeah, this is how it's meant to sound.
All right. Get your brain in gear and let's play Brain Shift.
So yeah, what do you think of this one, RJ?
I mean, you are famous for having loads of them, so...
Yeah.
You got... How many you got now? Well, you're flat, aren't you? So how
I
many
got
you
all my favourite pitched ones here I like.
Yeah.
And I also have a rare high-pitched New Jam guitar, don't I?
Maybe we should end the stream at the end by playing a new jam and do the traditional. For those who are listening, this is something that you will get used to next year, because next year things will be changing here. But on YouTube, you end your regular streams with a noise, don't you?
Yeah, a special noise from a guitar style game.
So I think it's only right that when we finish with our stream this evening,
We're gonna rock out.
we should rock out.
Yeah.
Okay, Sam. Shall we? I guess it's my turn now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Who says that?
Strider!
Right. So Sam, before we surprise your audience, would you like to guess who? Could you guess what might happen next? Because we got some surprises for your 15th birthday stream tonight.
Well, we're gonna be revealing your new talent for 2026, aren't we, RJ?
Known as 25H2.
Yeah.
What are we on now, Sam?
We're on 25H2, and I did a clean install on my birthday desktop build, and it is a lot quicker than it has been now. And yeah, my laptop is another story. It's still under what they call an RMA, but if they can't fix it, they'll give me a new one. So that's what IT suppliers are all about, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, I guess it's time, and for people living in the West Country, the East of England, maybe in the South Coast, former Galaxy. You remember Galaxy, don't
And
you?
even Wales. Well, that's for another stream, hopefully one day next year. But take it away, RJ.
Right, so, yes, good evening, everybody. It is RJ and Sam. Slightly different stream. If you're on YouTube, then we've started later than usual. We normally hear at 6:30. If you're on the radio, then this is nothing strange. But we are coming together tonight. Special stream. We're trying to make both audiences very, very happy, because quite simply, you radio listeners are used to me interviewing people, and if you're on YouTube, you're used to him playing games. So I guess it makes everybody happy. So it's time for my radio contribution. I got a special guest coming on our 15-year anniversary. Joining us live across the UK is a former global radio presenter. Please may I welcome live here is Hannah Clarkson, everybody!
Thank you for the amazing welcome. Hello.
Welcome to the 15-year anniversary. I've only been here for 8, but how does it feel to be here tonight?
Oh, it's great. Thank you so much for having me on. I can't believe it's been going for 15 years.
Well, I can't believe I've been here for only 8 of those years. But I remember I was only 7 years old when Sam started this whole I wouldn't say nonsense, but I was in an Indian restaurant. It was my mother's 42nd birthday. And I remember his very first video. It was his Bop It Extreme 250. And that was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Here we are, 15 years
And we
later.
just unboxed a successful brain shift. It had the metal thing that holds the stick into place, and thanks to my American friend known as TGR and Blanky, and me and him have been friends since 2020, haven't we, Audrey?
Yes, 2020, and I've been friends with you since 2018?
Yeah.
2018. So, of course, tonight across the UK, we're gonna interview. We're gonna get to know this guest, because that's what we do, don't we, Sam? We like to interview people, don't we?
Yeah.
And then we've got a little surprise towards the end, don't we, Sam? We all know. I mean, internally we all know, but the listeners don't. So this is a nice tease. We obviously, Hannah, you've been in here in the sector for the same amount, well, probably longer than us. Longer than I've been alive, I assume.
That's making me feel very old. Thank you for that. Cheers, RJ. Appreciate that. Yes, but no, I've been in radio since 2002, 2001. So yeah, Nick.
Oh, that was a special Bop It that was released in 2002, wasn't there, RJ?
What did he say?
I said there was a special Bop It that was released around the same year, 2002.
I used to love that game, Bop It, by the way.
Yeah.
That was a great game. But yeah, so I've been in radio for a very long time now, and the radio world is moving, it's changing, and we change with it, don't we? We go where the work is, we go where the jobs are, we do what people want to hear, what people want to see, so that's where we are.
Yes, yeah, because I remember the good old days of Red Dragon and Trent and Ram and Lester Sound. And, hey Sam, you remember the Bush and Troy show?
Yeah, you got that special jingle. It has a burp in it, doesn't it?
So yeah, because the Bush and Troy show, I used to listen to the Bush and Troy show for years, and then obviously that disappeared. And what do you remember of Bush and Troy, Sam?
Oh, they used to have characters on. They used to do like Christmas jingles and things.
Yeah, and I remember them, Vibe and Father Reese, and I assume Hannah, you've been around during the GCAT days. So what was the station where you were? Because I know there were like 29 of them. So what was your station?
So in terms of the first global station I was at was a station called Power FM, which is now Capital South Coast. So
Yeah.
that's where I started off, and that's where I used to do the evening show. So 7 till 10, Monday to Friday, and it was absolutely brilliant. It was when Adele first came out. It was when Calvin Harris first came out. It was when all these bands were first starting, and I got to interview all those people. I met Calvin Harris and David Guetta and Adele, and just all these big names that now are just absolute household names. But back then, back in the day, nobody knew who they were, and I was interviewing them, and I was like, who on earth is this person?
I don't know if my memory serves me because I was only 6 years old at the time, but I think I remember you used to do a feature called, what was it, the Power Anthem. I don't know if that's is that.
Well, yeah, the Power Anthem used to be a big thing where it was like the kind of the song of that week kind of thing. There was a song of a week, the Power Anthem that everybody was talking about, and it was kind of the evening show. You know how it works on radio. Evening shows are kind of they're like the break music, you know, the evening shows traditionally on the BBC and all local radio stations. Evening shows where you get a bit more leeway, you've got a bit more freedom, and you can sort of play songs that aren't as famous yet, they aren't as well known. And for a lot of people, listening to the evening show and listening to those songs is the first time they'll have heard those songs. So yeah, it was quite a special place to be really back then.
103.2. Now those were the days, and obviously 103.2 will be remembered as Power #1 hit music station, and of course that became. Well, Sam, you have your own story. What do you remember of Galaxy, Sam?
Oh, I remember it just being a station. Well, at the time I was a kid, I went to school and Mum would have the radio on, and there was Galaxy playing some music. So, yeah, I was like a youngster back then when Mum had radio on. We used to have Five on, and it was Hot. Yeah, we had all sorts going on.
And you were there during the transition from Power to Galaxy. What was it like, or did you get the kicking?
Me, yeah, well that's when I got the kicking. I was the last voice on Power FM. So as soon as I'd finished my show, they were like, "Oh yeah, that's the last one of you, Hannah. Thanks, but no thanks. Off you pop." Like that. Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way it was, right? Galaxy. I don't know how long it actually. Memory doesn't serve me how long Galaxy lasted before it then turned into Capital. Do you know?
I think it was. I mean, Sam, you remember the transition because you live where Galaxy was. Do you remember when it disappeared, Sam?
No, I can't remember.
I think it was at 2011. I think it's 2011 because I remember.
No, it was later than that because I left. I think I left in. It must have been 2015 when. No, you are right. Sorry, I left in 2008. See, this is how old I am. Forgive me. I've done radio for a while, and goodness knows what year we're in now. What we're in now? 25.
Monday, November 24th, 2025.
Okay, thank you. I needed that refresher.
Yeah, because I remember when Galaxy 101, which was my local Galaxy, and then before it was Vibe and Father Reese, so which is what we remember, and then that disappeared. That became Capital, and then obviously GWR, FM and Real Radio. So GWR was Bristol and Real Radio was Wales. That became Heart in 09, I think, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think it probably was then. Yeah, you're probably right. I moved away once I lost the sort of Power FM job. I kind of thought I've had enough of English radio for a bit, so I went and lived in the Middle East for a while. So that was a completely different world. But anyway.
So when you were transitioning from the GCAP1 network to what is now known as the Heart network, which is still running, it's across the UK, DAB and Global Player. I'm not sponsored by them, but I'm just, you know, it's just habit now.
No, thank you.
but, but you were there during the transition from GWR to Heart. What was the transition like from going local to now being national?
I mean, in a way, like the way that first and foremost, I think it was quite sad because so many people lost their jobs and radio completely changed then. And I think that was the first of the big changes. And since that big change in 2019, there have been so many constant changes. And obviously now we've had the next big one where I wasn't so fortunate. So yeah, I had the high of it because I was the one that managed to stay on and kept my job. And I did the broadcasting across the whole of the East of England, which was an absolute honour, a real privilege. You know, one of the best, probably the best job I've ever had and ever will have. And then unfortunately it ended for me. But being there at that time, it was just very sad because so many people lost their jobs and there was nothing anybody could do about it really. It just was kind of out of everybody's hands and you know, people, I probably wasn't everybody's favourite or everybody, you know, people must have had a bit of resentment towards me. You know, I took their job.
Yeah, I think it's, I mean, and I'm going to mention another producer. We all remember Pepsi Network Chart. I don't know if you remember that. Hit 40 UK and producer Sophie, who used to work on Hit 40 UK. And you worked with her, didn't you, Sam, last year? You actually worked with her for a, we won't mention what it was, but you did a special script with her, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, people like Sophie and Greg Burns and Craig Kingham and all the other people, and now I've forgotten everybody at Hit 40 UK, but I remember you used to present on Heart, and then obviously you joined up with the network, and what was it like kind of going from, I assume you were Cambridge first, wasn't it?
Yes.
Then
Yeah, it was in Cambridge and then it moved from Cambridge to Milton Keynes where it was based, but it was across the whole of the UK, the whole of the East of England.
Yeah.
And that transition was quite scary. Like that first show I did across the whole of the East was really, really nerve-wracking. You know, you kind of the enormity of it all. You know, you suddenly think, oh my gosh, how many people are actually listening to this? Like, it was quite daunting, I think. But I had a great producer with me, a great team, and everybody in it, and it obviously worked out very well. And as you go, you become a lot more relaxed, and sort of by the end of it, it almost feels it's just second nature, really.
You know,
And
we
at the
talk.
time, the beginning, yeah.
We talk about these network shows, and I know a lot of people, especially me and Sam, and this is why we do these. I mean, you know, this is why we do these small electronic game streams, because we just want to do something for the small community. I mean, it's only 7,000 subscribers to this little channel. You've been 15 years, but it's the fact that, you know, and I remember, and I know you had your own experience, I know you'll share that with us, but you know, when Sophie and Craig and Luke and all people at Big Top 40, Hit 40 UK in the big studios in Leicester Square in London, and Studio 3, I think it was Studio 3A where the big show came from, and then the producers were in Studio 3B, because when I think I was only 15 years old, I was fortunate to have the opportunity to go to London's West End and visit the 95.8 studios there, and obviously you had your experience at the 95.8 studios. What was it like being in London's Leicester Square and broadcasting from that studio?
That is a moment I'll never forget. Like those times being in those studios and in that building, just walking into that building, you just think this is just iconic. It just really, really is. I remember when before I worked at Global, seeing that building and just knowing what it is and knowing what happened there and all the history and everything, you're just in awe of it, aren't you? And then to actually go and do a show from there and you look out the window and you're like, wow, look where I am. It was, there was something else. That was a real career highlight. And my first show I ever did from there was actually on Boxing Day after Christmas, and it was it was just such a moment. Like, and you know, Christmas has got the magical feel to it as well. So you're already feeling magical, you're already feeling super special, and then to be doing it on Christmas time as well was brilliant.
I mean, 165 radio or 165 frequencies all over the country, local frequencies, and you're in the big studio in Leicester Square in London, looking outside the studio, and I guess it was kind of. I mean, I'm being a geek here, but I always ask the Leicester Square presenters this, and obviously, you know, did you ever hear across the UK, or did you hear like a London? Because I know that when you
You listen to London, unfortunately. You don't hear it across the UK because it's just the region where you're actually broadcasting from. But you can see all the different like the little the transmissions kind of thing. You can see all the digital countdowns and everything because there are so many of them all.
Yeah.
You can kind of see you can kind of see it, and you're aware of. Believe me, you're aware of the enormity, especially when people text in saying, "Oh, I'm listening in Edinburgh. Oh, I'm listening in, the Lake District. I'm in Cornwall. Wherever everybody's listening, all around."
I think I discovered you for the first time across the UK, I think outside of your patch, because I'm in Wales, where I've been based ever since I began in 2018. I think I first heard you when you did your Christmas cover. I think I used to listen to you. The Wales geeks are gonna probably quote me on this 105 to 106, and those were the days. And I remember listening to you on there, and I thought this is a voice I definitely recognise from the other place, Power and all that.
Yeah.
And I remember flicking through all the frequencies. I mean, in Bristol, I know on Bristol 96.3, and in Somerset 102.6. I was going through all the frequencies, and 97.4, 103.2, and I was hearing the same program with your voice on it, and I hear all these, especially when it goes into the adverts. Oh, this is us going being geeky now. In the adverts go split, and I hear all different ads for different places, and then it all just suddenly joins back up. I mean, for you, what were you, if you can remember, I know it's a few years ago, but what do you remember seeing on those screens as you were joining back up?
I guess, it's just all the countdowns at the same time, all connecting, so many different screens that say 3, 2, 1, and it goes red. The last 10 seconds they all go red, so it's all like, oh my gosh, we're coming to it, and it's a bit of a like da 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 kind of big moment. I mean, just amazing, and just realising how many different transmitters you're broadcasting to.
And obviously, I remember back then there were different. I mean, this was before the breakfast show disappeared, but I assume for you heard the London, so you would have heard the local London breakfast shows. I think it was Dave Berry and Lisa Snowden. I could be wrong, but when you heard the local trails, I assume the other stations had their own trails, didn't they? For their local.
I mean, gosh, I don't remember playing trails.
Unless.
I suppose because it was Boxing Day, it was Christmas time, so maybe they weren't. Potentially might not have been local. That's a good question, RJ. You've stumped me there, mate. Sorry.
I think there might have been trails. I could be wrong, but it's just us being geeks, because obviously. But it's obviously in London, it's 95. And Sam, you like that line, don't you? 95.
Yeah, 95.8. Capital.
And London's heart, 106.2.
It's Howard.
He's one of our best. So I see you heard the London jingles, and then I guess everybody else had their own
local
local. So for us, I think for us, what was ours? I think it was 105 to 106. This is hard. I think for ours, and then for Sam, yours was, I think, Bristol's. And Bush and Troy, I wish them well. I do miss I do actually miss the local breakfast shows. But in terms of, did you have any? We'll start with the Leicester Square. No, let's save the Leicester Square one till last. But have you had any technical issues on the East show where the wrong local thing went out, or they heard?
See, now you're asking me. Yes, we did. Definitely had a few issues there. So because I used to do the travel news for all the different regions, so there was the Norfolk and Suffolk one, there was the Cambridgeshire one, the four counties, and the Essex one.
Yeah.
And for sure, a few times you would record the wrong travel bulletin that would be, and then you press the wrong, and it would be sent to the wrong place. So you're reporting on Essex travel news across, Milton Keynes, and no one, completely the wrong one. It didn't happen very often, but when it did happen, it was an absolute nightmare. You just think you spend so long writing the travel news and making sure it's right, and then you record it, and you record it wrong.
I think I definitely remember on the GWR days, Bristol, Bath, Swindon, they had their own number, and I think I remember listening to what was then Graham Torrington. I don't know if you remember him. He used to do Late Night Love back in the day, Q103 in Hereward and nice radio stations, and he would play the phone number, and I would hear the Bristol number on the Swindon. Vice versa. They call Bristol 298888. Oh, now that's taken me back. Do you remember the phone numbers of the old radio stations?
Oh gosh, I can't think of any right now. What was the?
In my memory, for us at least, Bristol 298888, Swindon 618888, Bath 448888, and then for the Hearts in Wales 0345 105 to 106.
Wow, you do know that. I'm happy that I can just remember my own phone number.
My challenge is, can I list all the stations in the east that you covered? Well, the former names. Okay, so Cambridge is Q103, Peterborough, Hereward FM, Norfolk, Radio Broadland, Suffolk, SGR FM, Essex, Harlow, 1017. Yes, I don't know if you realised it, but the Essex had 3 different licenses, so it wasn't just Heart Essex when you did the regional, but there were 3 licenses. One was called 1017, which is for Harlow, then there was one for Colchester, which is SGR Colchester, and then there was another one called Essex FM, which all became
Heart. Then 4 was that you said? Sorry.
Yeah, I think there was 3 licenses in Essex.
Goodness me!
So there was
so many.
There was 3. So actually, the Harlow one nearly became Capital because it was part of the Hit Music Network. So that nearly became Capital, but because it joins the One Network, that became Heart. And then you covered Hertfordshire, so that would have been Mercury FM, which also nearly became Capital, but no, it was Heart. And then I think 3 counties, so Beds, Herts and Bucks. I think that was Chiltern. Chiltern Radio, and now someone's going to scream at me. Don't forget the Communicorp ones. Oh yes, Bob FM in North Hertfordshire. And did I miss anyone out? What? So you covered Cambridge, Essex, Norfolk, Suffolk, 3 counties. Oh, Northampton, wasn't it? You covered that as well. So that would have been Northants 96. That's going back. Wow. That's really going back. So that you covered, I think, if they were still local, so already 11, 12 local stations, and that just becomes.
You just think of all those people in all those jobs. It wasn't just the presenters that were in those buildings. It was the cleaners, the buildings, the sales guys, the promo guys, the news people, the weather. You know, it was everybody, wasn't it?
Yeah, and obviously the Galaxy, because you were Power FM, so it was part of the Galaxy network. There was stations in Scotland, Manchester, Birmingham, North East Yorkshire, South Coast. There were 6 of them, and then that disappeared. And I remember when Galaxy 101 went and had a nice day. It was a really sad day for everybody. In the West, it was our radio station. It was everybody. I go in a taxi, and everybody listens to Galaxy 101, and it was really sad to see it go. But I guess that was how it was. I mean, in terms of, you mentioned your East technical issue. Obviously, I know you had a very small time at the 95.8 studios in London's West End. Well, did you have any technical issues in Leicester Square, or it was all sailing?
No, I didn't really, because I don't know what, I don't know why. I guess you say you did. Obviously not. I was there for less time, so I had less opportunities to make any mistakes, and I didn't have any technicalities there, which was happy days, because God, if I had done it, would have just been awful.
Well, there's 165. Instead of how many you're dealing with, how many hearts there? Those 12 was like 165. Yeah, and how many listeners? I think that would have been 2.5 million. Well, across the UK, from Leicester Square in London.
Yes, potentially. I think there was a photo, because at the front door of the studios, there's a photograph in there that says you are broadcasting to this many people when you walk in the door. So that adds the pressure to it as well.
I must tell a story. It's a tradition, and I know my sister's next door, and I know she's watching. She might be watching. She might be listening. Every year, up until when this pandemic kind of ruined everything and it just never happened again, I would visit Leicester Square. So since I was 15, so 2018, 2019, I would visit Leicester Square, pay my homage, and I would say hello to the bassman who used to do the afternoon show, and he's now at Gold, but he used to work on the One Network, and he used to, he showed me the big top 40 as well, which is where you broadcasted from. I think it was studio, I don't know if you remember the studio, I think it was it 3A where you broadcast from?
That's what you said earlier. I'm not sure if it was 3A. I can't remember. Probably was back then, but I don't know if they have them numbered anymore.
Because I know that you guys were on the 3rd floor, because you had Radio X there as well, you had Capital Extra there, and Classic FM was floor number 2, so it was, because I remember, go on.
Heart has their own floor, and I know that Capital and Radio X are on the same floor, I believe.
Floor number 4, I think it might have been for Heart, and Heart Extra. Heart Extra, I don't know if you remember that service, but I remember that popping up on DAB digital radio when they were sharing the London Breakfast Show nationally. I think that was kind of the sign of things going and gone. Because when I remember Heart Extra was broadcasting the London shows nationally, and then I think that was kind of when things started to go, I won't say downhill, but obviously this year, reflecting on your time at Global, and I still like to call it Capital Radio and Richard Park, because that was the original company. Have you ever met Richard Park before?
Do you know what? I haven't, and I would love to have done. Yeah, I never ever met him. I remember him from. Do you remember the television program Fame Academy?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, he was a. It was sort of before. It was the BBC before the X Factor and all that sort of came out. And Richard Park was one of the judges on it, so it was like a TV singing talent show sort of thing. And he was the scary judge on there. He was like the Simon Cowell before Simon Cowell. And yeah, I never met him. I've heard a lot about him, obviously, and I watched him on many of the Radar meetings they used to do. But yeah, an absolute legend in his world, wasn't he? Did you ever hear much about him?
I know somebody. I used to work. I won't say work with someone. I think it was a couple months ago. I used to kind of on a test run, because we like to test different shows. So I was working with someone who used to work with Richard Park, and they told me many stories. Melissa, she used to work with Richard Park, and she used to Capital Radio, but she used to do the in-house music label for Global in 2001, I think, when it was still separate companies. So there was Capital Radio, then there was the GWR group, and then that merged in 2005, and then somebody came along in 2007, and we all know who, don't we? It's outside the studios in Leicester Square, and I know that there's 2 entrances. You've got the front entrance and the back entrance. Which entrance did you go in from?
The front entrance, the one on the main square, yeah, not the sneaky little back one. I don't really know who uses that, or if that's
I do.
mainly... Oh, really?
When I used to go the back entrance, and then you don't have to get paparazzis after you. Go up the straight stairs.
I never went the back way.
Because the front entrance, you got security as Courtney. He's at the front. Then you got the spirals. You go up the spiral stairs, and then you go up the spiral stairs. Then you got reception there, and you give your name, and then you go into the lift. And they like to play music in the lifts, don't they?
I think they broadcast the station, don't they?
Yeah, they play sometimes Classic FM or something, usually Capital, up on the 4th floor, and then you go out, and carpeted floors, all those were the days. Wow. I was only 15 years old, by the way, when I used to have I wasn't on the air, I was just behind the scenes, but it was a good experience. Global Academy, and that was what it was, and it's a great thing, GCSEs and A levels. But obviously this year was kind of devastating, because sadly that all came to an end. I mean, 9th of January 2025 at 10:15, you were called to that meeting. I guess you anticipated that it was going to happen. I mean,
yes, we all knew it was coming. We all knew that it would be a sort of around the corner. I just think none of us knew when, and none of us knew like how long we would have, and when it did happen, then how long we'd have to sort of wait. Because the worst thing is, if I'm being honest, is when you know that you've not got a job anymore, but then you have to keep doing that job. You have to keep, So it was quite a while. I think it was the end of February, wasn't it, when we all actually finished? So it wasn't too long to wait, but that was a weird transitional phase, really. It really was, because you obviously don't really, you're not really doing as much, and yeah. But I mean, that moment that we had that notification, the call, as soon as they said there's a meeting, we were like, oh right, this is it.
Yeah. It was on Digital Spy. Everybody knew that something was going to happen. I mean, if you're going to get called to a meeting, it's either you're getting a promotion or you're getting the kicking.
Well, yeah, exactly. And the fact that it was everybody, and they were all kind of like, this is a big one, you've got to be there, this is important. It wasn't just, you know.
I mean, how many times has that happened to you? So it happened at Power, it's happened at Galaxy. How many times now?
You saying I got a track record here?
I mean, you are the last one. I'm going to say cat and mouse.
There's a running theme. Is it my fault?
2008, 2009,
Yeah, so no, I
2007.
guess, well, it happened when Power turned to Galaxies, that's number one, and then it was when Heart went down to the rest of the regions, that was number two, and then, yeah, so I guess the third time, so I was third time unlucky, not third time lucky. Wow, I never realised that before, third time unlucky. Oh.
Yeah, I know somebody called Tony Dibbin, who everybody knows who Tony Dibbin is. I'm sure you know who he is, don't you?
Yeah.
Everybody knows who Tony Dibbin is. If you don't know who Tony Dibbin, if you're on YouTube, we're talking about radio, people. I know this is. Let me explain. We're live across the UK on your radio, and we're also on Sam Locke's YouTube channel tonight. It is a special stream because it's his 15th birthday, and I just want to remember that he is still here. So do you want to say hi, Sam?
Hi!
We haven't forgotten he's still here. He is here. It's just that we are doing a special tonight, and we'll play an electronic game to kind of finish off this thing. But so you were third time unlucky, and obviously your final show, February 21st. I can't believe that was like 9 months and 3 days ago. That was 9 months and 3. I'm thinking about it. The days in November is the same days as in February. So you finished on the Friday, the 21st of February. I remember. Well, locally it was. Who was it? I was Paris Troy or somebody. I can't remember. It was the last ever Bristol show, coming from Bristol, and then and then the studio's up for sale now. I think I know some Global are starting to sell up the studios in.
Yeah, the one down in Fareham, which is where Power FM and Ocean FM were. That's up for sale, and that was a very iconic sort of. I think that because that's where I worked. They called it the Tin Shack. And now, they're all up for sale, aren't they? Of course, because why wouldn't they be? The thing with it was we all knew it was going to happen. We all understand why it was going to happen, and it's just a shame that it has to happen. But I think everybody knows that's the way it is right now, and goodness knows what's next for the world of radio. What do you think's going to happen next in radio?
Well, I don't want to mention these two letters, and I know people. I'm going to mention Brentech and Windows Computer and Technology. Those two particular YouTube channels I watch, and I know because I know we're on YouTube, so I'm mentioning them. I know on Windows Latest and Windows Central, obviously the Apple people as well. AI slop. I don't look forward to it. I think. I mean, I know a competing company, we all know, who started introducing AI travel bulletins, and I thought this is going to go wrong, and I'm scared for my future, and that's why it's up to us. Even though we've been here for 15 years, I think, Sam, you kind of knew this was going to happen in 2010. Like, you were there since the beginning of this whole nonsense, and you've managed to hold yourself up for 15 years, and
Yeah.
congratulations to you, because despite all the cat and mouse stuff and with all the radio companies, you've kept this channel going, and you saw Test Mode Insiders, and you saw the Electronic Game Hub and the Rift, and you saw that go pear-shaped, and we're still going. And I think it's about being resilient, and that was why we started. I mean, I was only 7, so I was only kids, so I wasn't even on the internet, but I think we, as Bristol, I speak for the West and the Southwest and South Wales and across the UK, I think we knew something was going to go pear-shaped in 2010. We weren't sure the extent of it, but I think I look at this 15 years, and I think coming here tonight, celebrating this milestone and going, look at what happened in radio, and I think it's up to us, the smaller people, to at least do something we need to do something. If we keep quiet, then sadly radio is going to die, and even though we're moving away from the radio aspect, everyone's on YouTube now. People are asking, do you have a YouTube channel and stuff? you know, and I know the Samlock audience who are listening on YouTube are going, oh, this is another network program. But we try our very best not to network as much because, you know, it's all about being local and, you know, Christmas, maybe the New Year, we sometimes share like this, you know, and like nights like tonight. But we believe in keeping our audiences together. I mean, next year I know there'll be more networking on YouTube. I know I'll be sharing stuff and Sam will be sharing stuff. You know, you've got your interview with Janine, don't you, Sam?
That's what we like to have, isn't it?
So that will be simulcast across the UK also. Any interviews we do, and there's definitely going to be more sharing. But I feel that it's up to us to keep the community together and keep Bristol and wave this Bristol flag and show that, you know, we lost, you know, and I think what's really sad is Bristol had so many great radio stations, Jack FM, Sam FM, and Star and Galaxy and Kiss, and you know, there was great buildings in the city, and I know it's the same for the others, but I think here in Bristol, you look at the radio landscape, and it's just, the only one standing is the local BBC and the Points West, and that's it, no more, you know.
Is there community stations out there? Because there are so many more community stations popping up now.
There's
where I live at the moment, and there's lots.
There's UGimmer Radio, and there's BCFM, and there's I know Summer Valley FM. So I know there's 3 community stations in our patch. I know there's Radio Bath as well in Gloucester. I'm not sure what the one in Gloucester is in Wiltshire. And of course, South Wales we got Bro Radio and GTFM and Radio Cardiff. So I think those stations are going to be. I mean, I saw them appear on DAB Plus now, which they weren't before this whole thing. So I think it's nice to see community radio, and obviously you've got, I wouldn't say amateurs, but you've got us. I mean, the beauty of internet is you don't have to stick with a format, and you can do anything. I mean, within reason. There are children I mean, this YouTube channel, a lot of children watch it, parents watch it, because we play toys, boppets, and recommend toys and stuff. And so I think it's important that we keep the radio alive, but as well as adapting to the YouTube. And obviously, you know, I've been radio through and through, but I've had to accept that eventually I will have to start appearing on YouTube more. And you know, this is one of those days where, you know, I'd love to be just on the radio, but everyone's going to be watching on YouTube, and that's where everyone's going. People are asking, you know, I watch Samlock's YouTube channel, will you appear on there? And so, you know, we've got to listen to our audience, and obviously the voiceover artists, and this is really where we get very excited now, because we've been building up for this, but you know, every single year we are known for supporting new talent and fictional characters like the Velvet Zip and the 93, and obviously Sam, you've got really good memories, and who is it? Giselle Marie, wasn't it?
Yeah, she was an American talent.
All those years ago, the voiceover journey started in 2016, and I kind of continued it. So every single year you had somebody, and I came along in 2022.
And then hopefully next year we're going to get someone from the railway, aren't we, RJ?
As a guest, yeah.
Yeah.
On the show, hopefully. And I'm not never say never, but we're working really hard. 2022 was the year of Swansea, 2023 was the year of Fee and the emergency alerts, 2024 was the year of Sophie, and of course this year was the year of Faye Bamford, who you're going to hear from in 2 weeks' time.
And Hallie.
And oh dear, I've forgotten about Hallie. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I think it's time to announce the big news, because obviously you've third time unlucky, like you said, Hannah, so let it be third time unlucky, but you're here for a reason. I think you've got stuff to tell us, don't you, Hannah?
And I got a special sound I'm going to play when we announce it.
What are you saying, Sam?
I got a special sound from a game I'm going to play when we announce it.
What's the sound?
It's from Abe. Go ahead.
Do I know what the sound is?
Yeah, well, it's like a special chime that plays in the game when you do something well. So go ahead. Oh.
Is it the bees? Is it to do with the bees?
No, it's a chime that plays when you like land in a secret area or something.
Okay. Right, so it's time for the big reveal. Live across the UK on YouTube. We've been here for nearly an hour. We're going to finish very soon, but I'm excited to announce that thanks to... First of all, I want to thank all the voiceover artists throughout this year who have auditioned and who've been part of our journey. We've been doing these every single year. Every single year it's the year of somebody. Every second Tuesday of every month, the day of Patch Tuesday. We enjoy Patch Tuesday here, and it's tradition that somebody records on the day of Patch Tuesday. You know, over the years you had Swazi, you've had Fee, you had Sophie, you've had Faye Bamford doing it. And I'm excited to announce that even though third time unlucky, you might have seen her disappear, then appear, then disappear. I think this is new territory for you. I'm excited to announce tonight for 25A2, joining us from January 13, the first ever recording session, January 13th. Let's get the dates right, Sasha. Shall we let's get the dates right before we butcher this announcement here.
Yeah.
January 30th, it's the second Patch Tuesday, and this is good for the tech geeks as well. So we're following 24H2 cycle here. January 13th, February 10, March 10, April 14, May 12, June 9, July 14, August 11, September 8, October 13, November 10, and December 8. I'm delighted that recording on those second Tuesdays from next year is the one and only Hannah Clarkson. There we go. And there's the noise. Listen, Hannah, I've gone to know you since we started this whole competition in April. How does it actually feel to now manage to legally win? Because obviously we were meant to have you back then, but obviously we couldn't because you were still in gardening leave. Hence why Faye took over. So it was commiserations back then, but I can gladly say you're now our new voiceover. How does it feel that you're going to be voicing two individuals in a room?
To be able to be around and put my voice to whatever good use I can. If it is good use, it is good use.
We just play games every day, every evening. You're just in the intros, and obviously we got the intros, and obviously the dreaded. I mean, we've been testing now for a good while. We've been doing beta testing in the release preview channel, and we've been kind of just internally testing, and obviously we're testing tone and see, but I think we're ready for next year, 2026. And obviously in 2 weeks' time you're going to be inaugurated, and you're going to December 9th is going to be a massive day because Sam, you're going to be here for that, and you're going to hear from Faye. She's going to be here, and we hopefully we might hear from some former clients too who used to be here. Hopefully we're still arranging, but I think for you, you know, despite all the disappointments, I mean, no disrespect to one of the UK's biggest, and it's wonderful, but how does it now feel that you're going from the 95.8 now just coming to a smaller, I mean, what does this mean for you to be the voice of this project?
Oh, it's great because I know how much there are so many people out there that actually love this and appreciate this and enjoy what you guys do. So just to be a little bit of a part of it and just to help you all out and just to be there and just to be the voice that will go in between the games, I guess.
And a lot of people are going to be introduced to Windows 11 now, since we had the end of support for Windows 10 back in October. So everyone's going to be on the same build eventually.
Yeah, and obviously it's tradition. I mean, you would have noticed it. Nearly called you somebody, Marvin. Oh, where did that name come from? Hannah. I mean, you would have noticed already, and it was done deliberately during the test. You would have noticed we've recorded on specific days, didn't you? I mean, at the moment we're doing the preview, quality preview, non-security, which is the 4th Tuesday, and obviously for the tech geeks, obviously tomorrow is the last ever Microsoft quality preview. And so it's tradition for me. I'll be hosting my last voiceover of the year, and obviously next week, couple of weeks is Patch Tuesday. But I guess for you, it's. I mean, for you, is this the first time you're actually recording on dates that you know? Because I mean, I could tell you, your recording session for November is going to be November November 10, I think. So it's every second Tuesday. I mean, for you, how does it feel that you actually know the dates for next year? Even, I mean, we could plan in advance.
I mean, it's in a way, I am the most organised of people you'll ever meet, honestly. So the fact that I can look at my schedule for next year and already know, oh, sorry, I'm busy that day. Oh, what, you're busy in November 2026? Yes, I am busy. Not book me. So it's quite nice to be Why do you do it so far in advance and why are you so well prepared?
Because we follow the modern life cycle policy, and I think that's why more and more voiceovers are fighting. I mean, I'm getting DMs from people like Natasha Arancini, and Jenny Dyer and a few others, professional voiceovers who do it for a living, and they're all asking, why don't my clients do it? Because those clients don't know life cycle policy. We've been doing it since 2022. I could tell you a voiceover artist session in 2028. We can go, because we know second Tuesday it's fixed, and I've got a couple of questions in actually, and I'll answer them because voiceovers ask me about how do you go away without revisions. I always treat my voiceovers as I wouldn't say voiceover. I treat them as builds, and if I think there's a revision, I treat them as bugs.
Just let you know, RJ, it's 8 o'clock.
Oh yeah. Oh well, don't worry, it's fine. That's fine. We'll have to wrap up. Thank you, Sam, for reminding me. We're getting too excited here. No, but just to quickly answer the question, I think with the voiceover, aspect, getting away without revisions, I think it is a skill. Obviously, I treat things from a technical standpoint with the bugs. And for me, it's if I find something wrong, I just wait till the next patch, and then we patch it that month. It makes it, because you've noticed how small the scripts have been getting. Because if there's nothing to patch, you don't, 200 words, so very small scripts. So but we've got a big one. We start January 13. We inaugurate you in a couple of weeks' time. But as Sam has pointed out, we must be gone. So, do you have any final words to everybody for your appointment as the new voice?
I just want to say thank you so much for giving me this chance and this opportunity, and I just can't wait to get involved, and I hope that it's as good for everybody else as it has been for us so far, RJ.
And what would your message be to all those who, because every year we do this, I know we're going to go over time, that's fine. I mean, it's YouTube, so we're not fixed, and that's what I love about YouTube. It's not like as if we get cut off. But in terms of, there are hundreds of voiceovers who audition for this every single year, and they'll probably be disappointed tonight. They're all watching this, and they're all saying, oh, I wish I won this, I wish I won that. What's your message to those voiceovers who want to come next year? Because obviously I know that we will go again next year. We will be putting the auditions out next year, just like you did this year.
Yeah,
Go on.
exactly. It's a 1 year thing. So you've only got the one opportunity to do it. So which is why it makes it special, because you're going to make it amazing. And in terms of people that haven't got it this time, come on. There's so many more opportunities. You just don't ever give up. You don't get it right now. Nobody gets what they want first time in life. Goodness me.
If there's anything,
it's the same with everything in life. You have to just keep trying.
and the thing is, when you audition, you know when you're going to record. That's the main thing. Even if you don't agree to come here, you know that you're going to record on the second Tuesday of the month. So if you audition for 2027, you already know the dates for 2027. So
exactly.
you could, a voiceover could say to me, hey, what's my scheduled sessions for 2035? I could tell you right now the schedule for 2035 because it's fixed. It doesn't change. Unless Microsoft messes it up and bellies it up, but hopefully they don't. But listen, I think it's time for us to be gone. So before we go, obviously we will wish Hannah goodbye. We will see you tomorrow at 11 for our voiceover, our last ever voiceover session of the year. So I look forward to that. But for YouTube, I guess, Sam, you'll be back this Wednesday because you're not here tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be at my parents' house because I live in a flat now, and I get to go home sometimes to have a meal, have tea with my parents. But
and
yeah.
I'm not here. We were meant to do this on the 25th, but I'm not here tomorrow. I'm at the theatre, so none of us are here. So you're gonna have the pleasure of some guy in America entertaining you tomorrow evening. Oh well. Oh well. But listen, I think we should end as we should. But before we do, thank you very much, Hannah Clarkson, for coming on and spending your hour with us. I know it's gone over, and we will see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Let's give a round of applause to Hannah Clarkson.
Yeah!
And we will rock out. Shall we rock out?
Yeah, let's dance out. We're gonna play it on a dance beat.
Okay.
So what's gonna happen is, it's gonna give me a sequence of commands, and I just gotta repeat what they do. So here we go. That's the Dutch one.
And then we should end the stream like we always do.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go and eat, and I'm gonna go to sleep.
Yeah.
There we go.
This one has a special octave, doesn't it?
I thought it crackles.
Yeah. Capital.
This is hard.
Ready for the special octave, RJ?
Yeah.
He's coming. It sounds like number 3.
Who's number 3?
The third octave. On the normal page one.
What up?
Who might we get soon, RJ? Antonin. One of them sounds like a swan.
No!
We're gonna do the other mode. We can hear more octaves now. You ready, RJ?
Okay.
Rhythm group free jam. Double time.
Yeah.
How excited are you that we're getting somebody in 2026?
I know. Let me focus here, RJ.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Gonna change pitch now. This is number 4 on the normal pitch, these This is like normal number 4. Oh.
2022.
What?
2023 was 3. 2024 was the 3.
Oh. It sounds like number 5, doesn't it? It's a high pitched one. You ready?
Yo, a rock star. Nice score.
Yeah.
Yeah!
For my 15th anniversary, we rocked out. And now I'm gonna adjust the pitch on this Audacity session here, and you're gonna hear it like a high pitch, Razzie. Now you can do the honors, Razzie. You can ask them, what do you have to say, Razzie?
What do you have to say, Adam?
Ah, no, I didn't change the pitch. Let's try that again. Now let's do it like, yeah, mind control button is not. There we go, I got it now. Yeah, this keyboard has some rollover issues like my Lenovo did. Alright, let's hear it from Adam. What do you say, Adam?
What do you say, Adam? Woo!
Alright, guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you back on the ET stream again on Wednesday. Adios!
Bye bye.